Hello and welcome back. On the last episode, we met a family, Vladimir, Sora, and Melody. They asked us not to talk about the game, but did offer if we told them our number, they may help us with their number. If they can help us. Unfortunately, they couldn't, but now the twins are talking to us, and they think they can help us. But they're saying that we have to be honest with them and tell them their number, and they'll tell us their number in exchange. The fact that it's benefiting us, like a 2-for-1 information thing, I don't trust it, really. But we'll have to find out. Regardless of whether the twins were being honest about their responses, reasons for helping me, the fact was I had to start trusting someone at some point. Lying or refusing to give information would only result in missing out and allying myself with the people I needed to. There was no other choice. It was do or die time. Okay, an information swap then.
After you.
See? Oh no, it's too easy for you to go back on your word. You go first, I go next, and Nicholas can go last. How's that?
Very well. My number is 2.
I've got a 5.
That's wonderful. I have a 3. If we combine all of our numbers, we make 10 and are safe.
Uh-huh.
What do you think? Will you team up with us?
No. Sounds like a plan. I'm not sure about this. Can I have time to think it over? Best probably thing
Of
else.
course. We still have 2 days, so please think it over and tell us what you think as soon as you've decided. Time is of the essence in this game.
Okay, sounds like you was...
In any case, I believe that Beatrix promised you dinner. So now that we've finished our business, let's move on to something more enjoyable.
Cool, dinner. Nicholas brought out a plate of roast beef and vegetables laced with gravy. Roast beef? I had some lunch today, not that I mind.
Our chef is a stickler to keeping to our allotted rations. Any meat he cooks is eaten at every meal except for breakfast until it's gone so that it stays fresh.
Sounds reasonable, really?
Logically, it makes sense. But one can't help but lament on their palate's behalf every now and then.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair with Nicholas. Nicholas seems like a voice for reason, but again, more reason why I don't trust you, because he's trying to play logical. The three of us shared a combined meal. The three of us shared a comfortable meal. I was shamelessly flirted at by both the twins, and occasionally I flirted back. Okay. Time flew by, and before I knew it, I found myself yawning into my head.
Bedtime, I think.
Yeah, feels like it.
If your quarters are too far away, you can always share mine, you know.
Sounds like a nice offer. I think I'll manage, thanks. Yeah. But she's definitely up to something. She's using her charms to try and get ahead in this game. Exhausted from the past day's activities, I shuffled down the hall to my room and rolled into bed. The tension I felt earlier and had somehow dissipated, replaced with a serene, calm feeling. For too long, I fell asleep. I feel like, because obviously this is a game where the choices matter, I feel like once one of the twins die, the other is going to go ballistic. I woke multiple times throughout the night. Some part of me still couldn't believe this was actually happening. I couldn't really be fighting for my life, could I? It's every day. It all seems so surreal, like part of someone else's vivid nightmare. I was staring up at the ceiling, contemplating my situation, when I heard the door to my quarters open. Startled, I immediately sat up.
It's only me. I'm sorry if I startled you.
That's why I don't like you being here. Why are you here? I squinted through the dim light. It was difficult to make it out of her face, but I knew from her voice that it was the captain. I was grateful for the darkness that obscured my disheveled appearance and the tangled mess of blankets strewn across my bed. It certainly would have fallen far short of the captain's expecting standards. What time is it?
0430 hours.
4:30 in the morning?
But I must speak with you away from the prying eyes of the other crew members.
What about I, though? I or Di could be recording this. What about?
Skipped dinner last night. Is it safe to assume you were together?
That audio jumped. Yeah, both of you and the vocals, yeah. Yes.
What did they want?
No, I have any other business, but they asked to swap information for the Deletion
And did
Game.
you? Swap information?
That's not your concern.
Even so, I just want you to be careful. I may not know you very well, but you should be aware that they probably aren't being completely honest with you.
That's always the case. That's why I trust the family more than I trust the twins. The twins are both old enough to take care of themselves. Obviously, the family will only have concern for the daughter. As long as they're not getting away with the daughter surviving, should be fine. But yes, cool. I was going to say something, I completely forgot what it was.
The Vogels are not to be trusted.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'll decide that for myself.
Very well. But if you do decide to trust them, then you should be on your guard. You wouldn't want to wind up dead because you trusted the wrong person.
That's also, that's I remember what I was going to say. Why are you concerned for us when you think we're the reason behind this?
I must go. If you need to speak with me again, ensure that it's after hours. I'll tell I to make my quarters available to you, should you wish to visit.
It's weird. I don't... thank you,
Now
but
go back
it's
to
suspicious.
sleep. You still have a few hours before breakfast.
Okay, we've got like, what, 2 hours before breakfast? Assuming you have it at 6:30? Before I could blink, the captain had disappeared from my room, leaving me alone in my thoughts once more. Oh, sure. Sleep, she says. How can I possibly sleep knowing that the Vogels offer might be nothing more than an elaborate ruse? Yeah, it makes sense. I thought I was still all set, that everything would be fine now that I had other people to work with. How hopelessly naive of me. After a few hours of restless sleep and more horrible dreams involving chewing on my own teeth and insects crawling out of my ears, it was finally close enough to breakfast to let me for me to get out of bed. I don't think we've met the chef yet, have we? The day held nothing but anxiety for me now. Today was the last day before the deletion game actually took place. For all I knew, I could be the one fated to die tomorrow. I mean, makes sense. I'm the unknown one. I walked down the corridors of the ship, gazing at the stars through the window as I made my way to the dining hall, checking the map to my personal tablet every now and then to ensure I was on the right path. Suddenly, a pair of hands seized me from behind, grabbing me around the waist and hauling me backwards to an unknown room. I'm being kidnapped to the kitchen. As soon as I released, I spun frantically to face my attacker. New people, okay. A man and a young woman stood before me. Enigmatically, smiles painted on their face. He doesn't look like he's smiling. She does. Standing there with her hands on her backpack straps, the girl with vivid blue hair seemed particularly proud of her handiwork. So you're the one who kidnapped her. I know this seemed quite as pressing as the gleaming knife the man held in his hand. He took a few steps towards me. Are you the chef?
I see our guest has arrived at last.
You kind of look drunk with that smirk. What do you want from me? The man advanced closer. I shrank back in fear as he flipped and caught the knife with a practiced hand. After a few tense moments, he offered me the knife handle.
Care to do the honors?
Okay. Katashi. I'm sorry, what?
Katashi made lemon tart.
Cool.
Tarte au citron, actually.
They're the same thing.
I usually don't encourage the crew to eat sweets before breakfast, but I think we can make an exception on this particular occasion. Please, sit.
So you are the chef, okay. Then who's the lady? Katashi pulled out the chair and the nearby table and gestured for me to sit down. Once I had taken my seat, Katashi carefully slid the plate of lemon tart towards me. The pastry was a lovely golden brown, and the lemon custard centre had a gentle wobble to it. I gingerly cut 3 small pieces before handing the knife back to him.
You don't want more? Katashi's a really good cook, you know.
That's
Shizuka.
plenty big enough. You wouldn't want to spoil your appetite before breakfast, would you?
Katashi quickly plated the pieces and handed out a fork with the air of accomplishment of an accomplished chef. Fork in hand, Shizuka began to scarf us down with great enthusiasm.
I thought that something sweet might help soften the blow of our little kidnapping here.
Okay, thanks, I guess. It certainly helps. I'm Zero, by the way.
My name's Katashi Ikari. I'm the Everett's agricultural engineer.
Agriculture. Okay, so you're...
My name's Shizuka.
Okay, you clearly don't have table manners. I'm sorry. The young woman had a mouthful of lemon tart and seemed preoccupied with trying to steal Katashi's portion off his plate while he was distracted. Katashi deflected Shizuka's sneak attack without missing a beat.
This hot mess is Shizuka Himura, the linguistics officer, but she also handles navigation duties from time to time.
Okay, so navigation technically, and also communication. Chef and plant.
We understand that you've been forced to participate in this round of the Deletion Game.
Yes.
So we wanted to propose an alliance of sorts.
Oh, everyone wants a part of the new guy.
We want to win this game, but to do that, we need allies.
I'm well aware of that, but what makes you think that our numbers are compatible?
It's easy. I already know your number is 5.
How? How do you know that?
Lucky guess.
What? So you really didn't know?
Nope.
I don't believe that.
Ignore her antics. What we really brought you here to talk about was the game itself. Everyone's so preoccupied with finding a partner that no one's really looking at the bigger picture here.
There's no way for everyone to win, though.
There's a better way to determine the loser. As a group.
I guess. I mean, logically, number 5, me, should be the one who loses, because obviously I'm not part of the crew, I'm just a random person. Everyone else can pair up, except for number 10, who's obviously safe as number 10. What do you have in mind?
There's 10 cards, right? If we all came out and told each other our numbers, we could directly influence the results. 1 would pair up with 9, 2 with 8, 3 with 7, and 4 with 6. Then whoever was left with a 5 would be eliminated, right?
So me, yeah. So Shizuka had the same idea as I did.
We need to work as a team, the whole damn crew. This game isn't just affecting us. It's affecting the chances of every human being who's relying on us to finish this mission.
Are we even sure this is a real mission we're actually
Shizuka and
on?
I think our best option is to vote as a group on who we think contributes the least to the overall mission.
Which would be me, yes.
The person chosen for elimination would be expected to voluntarily trade their card with another player, finishing the round with a 5. With everything out in the open, there'd be no need to backstab each other.
Yeah. But the person with the 5 card would still die.
Maybe so, but I've already tried working the numbers from every angle. There are no loopholes, no cheats that would allow us to all move on. Trust me, I've looked.
Yeah.
The best we can do now is decide as a crew who should be sacrificed. I hate what this game has turned us into. We all used to be such good friends.
We're going to propose our idea at breakfast this morning, and the more supporters we can get, the better.
Okay. Well, I think
We
it's
know
fair.
that the captain is willing to support us. Now it's just a matter of convincing everybody else. You don't need to give us your answer now. Just think it over.
Yeah, see, this seems more genuine than the twins. I will.
Worst case scenario, if we can't get the crew to agree with us, then we'll team up with you. Katashi has 2 and I have 3.
Ooh, more people claiming 2 and 3. Oh, I see. But Beatrix and Nicholas told me they had 2 and 3 as well. Someone was lying, and I didn't have a lot of time to figure out who.
Alright then. We should start heading over to the dining hall before anyone notices our absence and begins to get suspicious.
Okay. I followed behind Katashi and Shizuka in a daze as we made our way to the dining hall. I still wasn't sure what was going on, or what I was going to do. Once again, I found myself lost in thought. On one hand, Nicholas and Beatrix had told me they had a combined total of 5 if they're willing to tell the truth. If they were telling the truth, I'd be safe teaming up with them. On the other hand, Shizuka and Katashi claimed they could make a 5 using the exact numbers, the exact same numbers, throwing doubt on both parties' proposals. And what about the captain's assertion that the Vogels weren't trustworthy? She'd known them much longer than I had. Then again, she might be lying too. Yeah, but the captain didn't offer any information about the game, so like, you know, she might. Why would her lying actually gain her? If I supported Katashi and Suzuka's idea to vote on who did the game, then there was a chance that they would vote against me, declaring me the least useful crew member. True, which I think is fair for them. I've only gotten here and they've been fine for 2 decades without me. There had no way they'd consider me an essential person. If we voted as a group, however, I could at least make a case why I shouldn't be killed. I was young, smart, and if given enough time, maybe they could let me stay to prove myself. I would certainly be a lot fairer than leaving it to a chance or skill at some stupid party game. I jerked at the unexpected sensation that my hand's on my shoulder.
We're here.
I've been staring at the floor, rooted on the spot in front of the dining hall. Right, thanks. Ooh, nice one. Katashi, Suzuka, and I made our way inside. Everyone was already helping themselves to the buffet of muesli, fresh fruit, and the porridge. I grabbed a bowl of banana and muesli, and some chilled milk. Sat down with one of the empty seats next to Sora.
Good morning. Sleep well.
I did. I didn't. Thank you for asking, though. Fine, thanks. I wasn't really in the mood for pleasantries, so I returned to my muesli. Sora seemed content to leave me to my thoughts. By the by, the table was filled with empty bowls of fruit peels. Amid the idle breakfast chatter, the captain rose to her feet and headed to the table to address the group. A sudden hush fell over the room, and all eyes turned towards her.
No doubt many of you are anxious. There's little I can do to put those feelings at ease. All I ask is that you treat each other with respect, as fellow crew members of the Everett. We are the best humanity has to offer, and as such, we must hold ourselves to higher standards. The Deletion Game is brutish, but that doesn't mean that we have to be.
Are we the best we have to offer?
Fight fairly, play honorably, and have faith that we will overcome these trials.
Well, fairly and honorably are not going to happen in this game.
May I speak freely?
Please.
As the captain said, we are the Everett's crew. We must remember that we have a greater purpose here.
To find a new home for human. Okay.
We have a duty to the human race to see our mission through. And to do that, we need to make sure we have the crew that is best qualified for the job. Shizuka has created a strategy that allows us to vote on the loser of the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, really. First, we discuss and vote on who should be eliminated. Then that person must swap cards with number 5. Everyone else would then pair up with their corresponding numbers to make 10. 1 with 9, 2 with 8, and 4 with 6.
If we agree to this plan, everyone would need to be involved in the discussion, and be willing to sacrifice themselves in the event that they lost the vote. It's certainly not a perfect plan, and at the end of the day, we'd still be sentencing someone to death, regardless of how we arrived at that decision. But it would get the job done.
I don't think this is the type of conversation you want to say with a smirk like that.
That's ludicrous. Why would anyone ever choose to cooperate if they lost?
True.
Is this even allowed? Wouldn't Dai protest?
You two seem shaken up. Are you two considered the least useful?
I do not believe that this plan contradicts any of the game's rules. The rules of Make 10 do not prevent disclosure of numbers or coordinated pairings.
It's true, we can't really prove it until...
I'd rather not. Nicholas and I are doing perfectly fine on our own.
Uh-huh.
Don't think you can drag us into your petty little scheme. We see right through it. You're just trying to expose everyone's numbers so that you can screw them over.
I have to agree with my sister on this one. We'd also be putting ourselves at considerable risk, given the fact that we are the only profession on board that has 2 officers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Everyone here is important. There's no way I could ever choose between my friends.
I forgot Yoshiki. Okay. I'd have to support the idea. Maybe the only way to make someone important is the mission doesn't get killed.
A person's worth isn't so easily measured.
Yeah. But someone's going to die regardless. If that person's skills are vital to the mission, then humanity's hopes die with them. The mission is bigger than any one of us.
The thought is appreciated, Shizuka, but it seems as though the majority of the crew is against the idea. We will continue playing the Deletion Game as we have been until now.
You damn. If only one person agreed, then we would have had a 5-5 split.
Dismissed.
I was still exhausted from yesterday's investigation. not to mention the mental strain of not knowing whether I would live or die tomorrow. Only a few days in, the deletion game had already begun to take its toll. I collapsed on my bed, fully clothed. What the hell was I going to do tomorrow? Could I trust the Vogels and stay true to their word? Would I be safer going with Katashi and Suzuka? There was little I could do but wait for tomorrow. Unless the captain's offer from this morning suddenly came to mind. I wondered whether I should turn in early to clear my head for tomorrow, or if I should head over to the captain's quarters for counsel. Sure. Let's go for the talk. If anyone could help me, it was the captain. When she visited me early this morning, she had the gentleness about her that I hadn't seen before. For whatever reason, she generally seems to want to keep me safe. I couldn't do any harm. I swung out of bed, excited for exited my quarters and moved quickly down the corridor. Didn't particularly want to be seen visiting the captain at this hour. It might suggest something. Untoward. Reaching her door, I buzzed her intercom. Hooray! The cabin room had the same basic layout as mine, but hers looked much more comfortable. It had a distinct live-in feel, whereas mine still looked sterile, the room of a stranger. The captain was sitting on the sofa, reading something on her digital display. She folded her tablet shut and on her lap and approached. And as I approached and sat down next to her,
I'm glad you came over.
I don't know why. I need to talk to somebody. I don't know what to do.
This hasn't been an easy situation for any of us. In some ways, you have it the easiest. The person you see die tomorrow hasn't been your friend for a lifetime.
True, but unless it's me who's dead, because, again, no one has any connections to me. True, but then again, I'll never get a chance to know them at all.
It's hard to know which is worse.
I think it's worse because you know them.
Is there something you wanted to talk about?
Let's just talk. Anything but the deletion game. It's all anyone ever talks about since I've gotten here. Let's talk about something else. Tell me about yourself.
There's nothing to tell.
I'm not asking you to tell me all your secrets. Just tell me one little thing. What do you do for fun?
Well, sometimes I... No, you'll laugh.
I won't laugh, tell me.
Promise not to laugh?
Damn. Well, now it's going to be something stupid. If I laugh, I'll only do it on the inside. That's all you know, promise.
I like to knit sometimes.
Okay. How's that funny? Really? That's it? Why would I laugh?
I usually get old lady jokes by the dozen.
Okay, and? I think it's pretty cool.
Katashi spins leftover wool into yarn for me, and I use it to make, well, whatever I want, really. Scarves, ties, gloves, blankets.
That'd be useful if we ever have a heating issue.
I find it relaxing. No responsibility, no pressure. Just me and some yarn.
Do you take requests?
I'm sorry?
I don't really have any comfortable clothing. I only have this uniform and a pair of pajamas. It was just a thought.
I have been meaning to try out a pattern for a long-sleeved sweater vest.
Let me guess, and then you're going to end up dying before you finish it? If you need someone to model it, I'd be happy to volunteer.
We'll see.
Yes, hopefully neither of us dies in order to complete this promise. A pleasant silence fell between us for a minute. Well, I better get going. Thanks for talking to me.
My door is always open.
Not true, otherwise we wouldn't need the intercom. Good night, Captain.
Good night.
I left the captain's quarters in a daze, arriving back to my own room in what seemed like seconds. My body felt like it was on autopilot, moving from on its own volition as my mind wandered. Finally reaching my quarters, I slipped into my bed and went right to sleep. Oops. Ignore, I think. There we go. Day 4.
Bing bong, bing bong. It's time for all competitors to wake up.
Hooray! It's the day of the day. Alright, I'm already awake.
Bing bong, it's time for all competitors to wake up.
Can we just wave up, waft a hand? She's a hologram if you won't feel it. How do I turn you off?
Well, if you must know, disassembled computer parts put me right out of the mood. Whips and leather, on the other hand.
No thanks. That's not what I meant, and you know it's die. How do I turn the alarm off?
The magic word is
Banana.
Command accepted. Alarm shutting off.
Did a poor impression of a robot bending her arms and moving up and down as if I still did fashion. Her impression was enthusiastically concluded by impression of shutting down, complete with a crooked neck and her left arm swinging like at the elbow. It looked like an old-fashioned dance move my father had pulled off. That is to say, it was a poor show. Are you done?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's that time again, folks. Fighting for your life has never been so much fun. Come join us in the dining hall. The second round of the Deletion Game is about to begin.
We don't even get the first round. I'll be there in a moment. Now please leave me
You're
alone.
pretty grumpy in the morning, you know that? Has anyone ever told you that you're not much of a morning person?
Well, I'm soon going to be a morning person with a U, because someone's about to die. I huffed audibly and zipped out of my room. I quickly made my way to the dining hall, only to find that everyone else had already assembled. It's kind of what a morning announcement
Here's
does.
the slowpoke. You sure took your sweet time, didn't ya? Now that everyone's here, let the fun begin.
Is it fun though? At Dia's exclamation, the surface of a dining table was overlaid with 4 holographic terminals on one on each side of the table. We all gathered close to a nearby terminal and had to have a look. In one of them, the one before me had 2 distinct areas. On the left was a blank card, on the right was a terminal. On the right side of the terminal was dominated by the outline of a hand.
From this point onwards, transactions will take place in the dining hall. Parties involved in a transaction must be declared to me before entering the room, and only those involved in the transaction may enter this room.
Okay.
Any attempt to force your way in or otherwise interfere with the transaction will result in instant elimination.
Oh boy.
Once players have entered the dining hall, they must choose who will control the transaction by using the primary terminal. The primary terminal is the one in front of the phallic statue. Come on over and have a look.
We all made our way to the primary terminal, verified Dia's information. She wasn't lying. The left hand of the primary terminal contained an additional section with 3 choices labeled Combine, Trade, or Give.
To use a terminal, you must place your hand on the holographic screen. Once your handprint has been verified, your card number will appear on screen. If you have 2 cards, both will appear.
Sweet.
The person at the primary terminal must then choose which transaction they wish to perform. The players stationed at passive terminals can see which action is chosen, but are unable to see the card numbers of other players participating in the transaction. Results of a combined transaction will not be known until judgment phase. The only information that will be displayed is who you have combined with and the total score. Results of a trade or give transaction will be noticeable during any following transaction, as your card number or amount will have either increased or decreased. In order to make sure that no one can see your card while you are transacting, each terminal has thick holographic walls.
Okay.
No one can know your card number unless you tell them. After all, half of the fun has been watching all of you lie to each other. I am available outside of the dining hall at any time should you need me to repeat these instructions or answer any other questions you may have. You have 1 hour to complete your transactions. I wish you all the best of luck. Now clear out. It's time to get the show on the road.
Okay, so probably the best place to call it there, honestly, before this actually starts. Thank you for stopping by, and hopefully I can see you on the next one. With that, goodbye.